The collapse of New York City is already beginning in a variety of stories. This one from the Telegraph: escape from New York. Bankers flee Mamdani for Texas. That's right. Big talk about the Texas Stock Exchange. Delaware, of course, is burning itself down. They went after Elon Musk, and now Coinbase is leaving. This is the result of failed Democrat policies and an opportunity in this country for business competition at the governmental level. I got a really funny story for you. Moms on the Upper East Side of New York, higher income people, fleeing. So here's the question for all of those of limited cognitive capabilities in New York who voted for Zohran Mamdani. Who are you going to tax? Who are you going to tax? It's an honest question that I expect an answer to, because it's not going to be the millionaires and the billionaires, because they're leaving in huge numbers. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It hath begun. The Telegraph reports top earners are swapping Wall Street for Y'all Street as the Lone Star State takes on the Big Apple. New York's new socialist mayor-elect swept to victory this week on promises for universal free childcare, free buses, and freezing rent in the city's rent-controlled apartments. But paying for these measures will mean tax rises. A tax increase? Mamdani wants to increase corporate taxes from 7.5% to 11.5% and add 2% to the income tax rate for those earning $1 million or more. Plans that will raise $4 billion to $5 billion each. No, they won't! Can you guys Google Laffer curve? Just Zohran Mamdani he's just not smart enough, or he's lying to you and he is smart. So it is what it is, I guess. Maybe he fully understands exactly what is going on. So they're going to raise taxes and people are going to leave, and they're not going to raise as much money as they think they are, because that's basically what the Laffer curve is. You increase tax too high, you restrict economic activity, you generate less income. Doesn't really mention that people will flee from your jurisdiction to not pay for it. There was a viral post that I saw where they were saying, but what's wrong with 2% on $1 million? $20,000. And it was like, here's my yearly budget after making $1 million, $350,000 in taxes, and then $100,000 for private school, $50,000 for my Aspen vacation. It's like, but now I have to lose $20,000. The actual effective tax rate for an individual, an honest individual making $1 million in New York, is probably going to be around 55%. That's because you've got the highest state and city income taxes on top of the federal income tax. And property taxes or anything on top. Typically, somebody making $1 million is going to be spending over half of their income in taxes. And that's not even including your general sales tax and everything else you got to spend on, right? Probably gets upward of, this is what they never account for. When they say you have like a food budget and they're like, you're spending a couple grand per month on food, they don't include that a large portion of it is additionally taxes. So don't get me wrong, $1 million a year is a lot of money, but in New York, you're comfortable. I wouldn't describe you as wealthy. And these people don't know the difference between wealthy and well off. And I got to be honest, the system is pretty broken. But let's talk about the future of what happens to this place as people are facing an exodus. Before we do, however, considering we're talking about wealth and finance, we've got for you a beautiful sponsor, PDS Debt. My friends, go to pdsdebt.com/Timcast. If you are in debt and need to get out of debt, they can help you do it. Credit cards, debt from it's not an accident. It's a system built to keep Americans down. The banks profit, the creditors win, and families lose. Every call, every fee, every high interest trap. It's another reminder the game is rigged. It's another side of the story. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands fight back, cutting debt, ending the calls, and putting money back where it belongs, in Americans' pockets, not the banks. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical bills, PDS Debt has a custom options to help you get out of debt. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs, in your pocket. It's your money. It's your future. Don't let the system decide for you. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Go to pds.com/Timcast. Once again, that's pds.com/Timcast. Now, I want to be honest with you, and we got sponsor reads for these videos, and that was the perfect one for this, because PDS Debt is about you solving your debt problem, finding assistance to do it. What we have in New York is quite the inverse, in fact. It's people saying, we're going to elect somebody who's going to take from everybody else to solve my problems for me, so I don't have to. The end result? His plans have naturally sparked fear on Wall Street. Suddenly you have an exodus of folks who are generating quite a bit of profit, said investment banker Philip Blancato, chief executive of Ladenburg Thalmann Asset Management. It's already happening. It's just going to accelerate it. In response, Wall Street's top earners are turning to an unlikely corner of the country, Texas. Take a look at this. States with the highest number of tax filers with income greater than $1 million. New York just lost 4% in the from 2010 to 2022. That's wow. More specifically, Dallas, where the booming financial district nicknamed Y'all Street benefits from a lower tax, lower regulation environment. For some, Mamdani's new regime means Texas is on course to take New York's crown. We're seeing in Florida, Texas, and Tennessee, the expectation is going to be a massive boom in property value and sales because people are going to flee New York. For those that like at least some of the colder weather, Nashville gets a little bit of it. Texas and Florida don't. But Florida and Texas seem to be the big players here. Take a look at this. Upper East Side moms are melting down over Mamdani. A 35,000-person Facebook group devolved into panic and infighting after the mayoral election. Well, I got news for you. These are the higher income people in the city. And if they are fleeing, who are you going to tax? Your Wall Street people are leaving. Your businesses are leaving. Your upper income people are leaving. You will tax no one. I hate socialists. They're dangerous retards who want to steal from me. I work really, really hard all day, every day. A couple of days off, I was sick. Still a little under the weather, but I'm mostly fine now. Didn't want to turn it to a month-long thing like in August, so I said I better take a couple of days. I work really, really hard. And it's tough because when you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, and when you see often when you have bad periods like a recession or depression, morale drops, it's hard to keep going. It's kind of like, you ever play a video game and you get really far, but you forget to save and then you die and you're like, oh no, you got to go all the way back and do everything over. You just turn it off. We all been there. Now in modern video gaming, it's less likely to be a problem because of autosave, but it was a big deal back in the day when we were little, right? You're playing an SNES RPG and you're like, I just leveled up 10 levels and you're playing Final Fantasy or whatever, and then the game crashes or the power goes out and you're like, I just lost everything. And then it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to boot it back up and do all? Nah. And you come back to it later, I guess. But that's what it feels like, just a lot worse. I have to work really, really hard so that lazy, fat people can be on food benefits. I just don't want to do it. I'm like, if I'm going to work as hard as I can and they're going to take it all from me, I'll just work less because it's exponential. And that's likely the intent. We'll put it like this. They say 2% on top of every million, after $1 million, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to lose 2%. What's my return for working 16-hour weeks? Seriously. So one of the challenges that we have here at Timcast is doing all of these shows is diminishing return. When I only did one show, it was the 35th biggest podcast in the world. I'm not saying I was the biggest in the world. 35, though. You know what I mean? There were many, many more above me. And I was getting reached out. A bunch of companies were reaching out. I was making good money. And then we launched a couple different iterations. Timcast IRL changed things. And that diluted audience. And so the workload doubled, but the return only increased by like 20 or 30%. Is it really worth it? I don't know. I like doing it, so we do. And it's important, so we do for now. However, what if I was told we're going to tax you because now you're making more money? It's like, bro, no, stop. I'm only making more money because I'm working more. Well, we're going to take it from you if you do. Then I'm not going to work. Put it this way. If I could make $1 million and take home half of that, but if I say, if I work double and I'll get 1.5 million, but then I'm only going to take home $1 million, I'll be like, or actually, it's going to be more than that. I'm going to end up taking home with 750. It's like, now I work double, but I only get an extra half. I ain't doing that. That's a stupid game to play. And that's what we're looking at with morons like Mamdani. A vocal minority of the group's members jumped to debate the restrictions, saying they supported Mamdani, but overwhelmingly, they're like, we're out. One person said she didn't hesitate to jump in and get mixed in response. Get your panties out of a crunch and relax. We are literally terrified that a mayor who won't condemn Hamas and won't condemn the phrase globalize the Intifada is now running the city with the second largest Jewish population in the world, the 49 wrote. Wow. Writer says she's now considering a move to Hoboken, New Jersey. As a result of Mamdani's win, it feels very immoral to me at this moment to pay tax dollars to a city that just elected someone who would love to see my people murdered. We're all looking for an out. Well, my friends, get ready. There's more. Socialist Katie Wilson wins election for Seattle mayor, defeating Democrat incumbent Bruce Harrell. You're going to love this. I got to play this video for you guys. You're going to love it. It's hilarious.
Access to affordable, healthy food is a basic right. We cannot allow giant grocery chains to stomp all over our communities, close stores at will, and leave behind food deserts.
Close stores at will. We cannot allow these companies to close their stores. What are you going to do? Are you going to literally pass a law saying like private grocery stores have to remain open? That's a ridiculous thing to say. But she goes on.
Together we can build a Seattle where fresh food is for everyone, not just for those who can afford it.
Oh, man. We don't live in a Star Trek reality where we have food replicators. Food is a finite resource, though it is particularly abundant. We have obese homeless people and people who are on SNAP are obese. I get all of that. The point is, you have to be able to afford your food. If you create a system where you give resources to people who don't produce, you have a deficit, and deficits break.
Food deserts are not natural. Corporations create them when they abandon our communities.
Here, okay, I want you to imagine, let me just play this. Ma'am, slavery doesn't exist anymore. So if I have a grocery store in Seattle and you come in and I'm like, I'm going to shut it down, you can't force me to stay. You can't be like, nope, you're not going anywhere. Ain't going to happen.
As mayor, I'm excited to step up and with UFCW explore public option grocery stores to fill those gaps.
This all goes in one direction, and I think you get it. Leftists are jealous, and they're driven by envy and greed. They look at those who work really hard and are well off. To be fair, there are a lot of people who are well off who don't deserve to be, but, you know, it's a question of how the system operates. Some people get easy money. Some people inherit money. That's no reason for you to decide you can take it from them, but that's what they're doing. The standard of living these people want, it's based off jealousy. Because if we went back 100 years, if you went back 200 years, these people were kings. And if you're a farmer looking at somebody living in the city, you can be jealous for sure. But the standard of living these people have right now is like they got better dental care than Rockefeller had, but they don't care. They're jealous. These leftists talk about eliminating poverty. No such thing. Poverty is relative. Poor people today have air conditioning, clean running water, hot showers, and refrigerators. How amazing is that? And these people aren't satisfied. So they're going to extract, destroy the system, and burn it all down. Good luck, I guess. Good luck. I'll leave it there. Smash the like button, share the show. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next segment.